Tom Vautour and welcome to the Shred Abyss. For the next hour, we're going to be talking about different techniques and scales and exercises that I use to sort of improve my playing. And you can sort of make up your own solos with these scales as well. So we're going to start with some warm-ups, and we're going to move into some scales. And we're going to go into alternate picking, then arpeggios. We're going to look at some tapping stuff, then legato, string skipping, and finally section of just combination of ideas and just random licks. So let's get started. So let's start with the warm-ups. The first thing we have is chromatic scale, and this is a really useful exercise that I still use. And you just follow that pattern and you sort of go up a half step each time, then you can go back down. It's just a great exercise, and you don't have to do it on all 6 strings. You can do it on 2 strings. Bottom 2. But don't underestimate that one because it's just good, especially when you get faster. And the second one is the lateral lick, and it's similar, but it drops one note into the next adjacent string each time. One more note. Etc. And the reverse ladder is the next one, which is the same idea but just in reverse. You go back up it. And I like that one because it involves all different groups of picking, like 3 on one string and then 1, then 2 on each strings, and then 1 and then 3. But it's good because like songs aren't always going to be 3 notes each song. It's going to always change. This is a good exercise. I really like that one. The next one is the Spider-Man. And that one's good for your hamstring, sort of, and it's string skipping. Yeah, it's like the first thing I kind of learned, string skipping. The next exercise is a basic concept that's designed to get the picking hand going, like multiple down picks, multiple up picks, eventually into like a sort of a rake motion. The next one is crossing strings. So I like this one because you have to consistently go across all the strings, and you're doing bursts of 3, but you can also do this bursts of 2 or 1 or 4, whichever you like. But that's the idea. It's not easy for some reason, for me anyway. So these are sort of like isolated ideas where you're playing and you're like, why is this tricky? And then it's because of things like this, and that's why I kind of make them into exercises. Anyway, the next one is a string skipping. This one's a triplet. Cool. It'll get you good at string skipping. The next one is inside picking. So basically, inside picking is, it starts with a downstroke on the G string and then an upstroke on the D. So you're sort of conserving energy, because if you think about it like this, by going on the inside, you're sort of conserving motion, and in the end, it is trickier, it seems at first. And it is, but it'll eventually shave down the seconds of your speed. You can be potentially faster this way, and that's what I learned. I found by just doing that in between any two strings, it'll burn your hand, but it's good. It'll help your playing. And this next one's just has two on the adjacent string, two notes on the string skipping note. It kind of sounds like Halo. I don't know, it's pretty cool. It gets you hopping from one string to two and back, etc. Next one is, it's kind of trickier, but it's good to get your hand strength up. Next one, that's just sort of a basic kind of scale combination exercise that you're gonna see a lot of stuff like that. The next one, the arpeggio. It's just to get your, when you do these arpeggios, you have to move your index a lot. So, there's sort of 6 arpeggios that we're going to look at, and there's 3 major and 3 minor, and these are 2 of the most common ones. It seems like a lot at first, like all these, the scales I'm going to explain and whatnot, but you know, over time, if you learn it piece by piece, it's not bad. It's not like it's a never-ending thing. It's like very, like, you know, you learn it, and then those are your main tools, and then you can use other stuff. But you want to have like the major, the minor arpeggios and scales down pretty well. And then the last warm-up, pentatonic. 3 note per string skipping. That one takes a lot of hand strength, but you know, when you get there, you don't have to do every exercise, just do the ones that you are able to, but try to learn a harder one too, I guess. So let's take a look at some scales. So we kind of use these scales as a template when we're creating our own songs or whatever. Every solo is from a scale, and the more you kind of practice them, the more it's kind of like, you know, more apparent which notes you can and can't use. But it's always open interpretation. But having the guidelines is going to help you most of the time, you know what I mean? It's just, there's scales, it's just, everything's kind of technically a scale. But so the first 7 are the modes. It starts with the major Ionian, which is just also known as the major scale. Dorian. Phrygian, Lydian, Mixolydian, Aeolian, which is also known as the minor scale. So right off the bat, you want to know this one, the Aeolian, and the major scale. You want to take, like, for example, the Aeolian. And the notes from the Locrian. So you sort of want to play the 6th one and then incorporate the next one up. Because you never want to be stuck. And some players can stay in one. They make stuff you want to be able to play stuff anywhere, make it sound good. But the more you're able to combine these, like you can use 5 and this one's 6 and 7, and then you can go back. The next one up is the major, back to 1, because this is the octave. And if you can get those 3, you already have a large portion, you know, like a lot of space. You can come up with your own solos. So it's about combining them. I mean, and first just like learn them. You know, you'll see it's kind of like each one. The way I wrote these out, they're kind of fitting together like a Tetris block or a Legos. They kind of fit together nicely, but it still takes a lot of practice. And there's instances where the same thing will happen, like this was a whole tone. This shape can occur in the major scale or the Mixolydian. So you sort of have to just practice and take 2 at a time, put them together. It's kind of, you know, as long as you're focusing, you're going to get really good fast, you know. A little bit of focus, you don't have to, you know, it's important to actually just practice these as an exercise too. So let's move on to the harmonic minors. So those are really cool. Definitely, you're gonna be seeing a lot of it. Might as well learn them. Minor pentatonics. Yeah, those are probably the first groupings that you should get is the pentatonics, because there's only 5 of them, and if you can use it like more together, you're covering more space. So you know, it's really cool. You start to see what I mean when you play this minor pentatonic and you see the one before the shape. So now, instead of being stuck here all the time, you're able to use those other notes too. Let's check out the blues scale. So blues I don't use very much, and I don't really like too much, but sometimes they're good players, and sometimes if you incorporate a little piece of the blues in a fast solo, it's actually cool. It's not cliche, but some people really enjoy all blues, and there's nothing wrong with that. I just, you know, it sounds similar to me, but they probably say the same thing about some bands I listen to. So now we're going to get into some more exotic scales. Here are the 5 Hirajoshi scales. These are the Hindu pentatonic scales. This is the first diminished scale. Here's the second version. Here's the whole tone scale. Here's the second version. I like this one. Let's take a look at the alternate picking exercises. let's check out the arpeggio section. We have 3 major arpeggios. G minor. So a good way to practice your arpeggios is to split them into 2 groups. Use the bottom 3 strings and the high 2 strings. Once you're able to sort of sweep through these both, you can do the full version. And it's going to take a lot of patience to be able to get that sped up. But if you record your BPM, say 100 BPM, and then the next day try to get to 105 or 110, you'll eventually speed it up. It won't take long. So another thing with the arpeggios is sometimes you have to roll across multiple strings with one finger. So you can just work, isolate that. You want it to sound like one note each. You don't, if you just go, then it's more of a chord, it's not the arpeggio. So you just gotta work on, isolating. And then, yeah, once you're able to do it slowly and like it sounds good, and that's sort of the key, the seed that can make you do the crazy sweep. But if you don't get it clean, it's not gonna work. 7th arpeggio. A diminished. Major 7th. Augmented. Example 1. Example 2. Example 3. Example 4. Example 5. This one's example 6. Example 7. So example 8. Here's example 9. Here's example 10. Here's example 11. Example 12. So let's check out the tapping section. Example 1. Example 2 is like a double hammer-on tap pull-up. Example 3 uses the edge of the pick to tap against the fretboard. So this like has an arpeggio with a sliding tap. So first I would try just a single note. Then once you get better, you practice that. And one's a half step slide and one's a full step slide. So it is tricky. You can practice one at a time. Example 5. Example 6. Example 7. Example 8. Example 9. Let's check out the legato section. Example 1. You can also play it on legato. So you gotta be cautious about not letting strings ring out. That's what it's gonna take a lot of time, and it's really strenuous on the hand, but that's how you build hand strength, is kind of legato, and it's going to sound nice once you start hammering on notes with sufficient force. So example 2. Example 3. Example 4. Example 5. Example 6. Example 7. Example 9. Example 10. Example 11. Example 12. Example 13. String skipping. Example 1. Example 2. Example 3. Example 4. Example 5. Example 6. Example 7. Alright, let's check out the lick section. Here's example 1. Example 3. Example 4. Example 5. Example 6. Example 7. Example 8. Example 9. So that's it for the licks. You just practice them and improve your lead section. Practicing to get better at your instrument is just to allow yourself to have, expression without these limitations, where you're like, I can't play this, or I just don't know how to solo in general. Just, jamming, go on YouTube and get the backing tracks. Just there's so many fun ones, and working your scales that way. I mean, but sometimes you just gotta just sit there and learn, and it's not bad. Like, you gotta practice on the technique, but kind of focusing as well. But I mean, when you go to write a song, you can put on a drum track. Or when I started making songs, I just didn't have drums. I just made a riff and then try to make just songs like that. And that's how you start. It just to get better. It's like you just gotta try. Basically, the more you try, is the more you're gonna be like frustrated. But you're gonna like level up that way through being frustrated. Make your own first songs. When you can get a drum, maybe a drum program or a friend who can help, you can make a riff, and not everything's all about theory or technique. It's about, this is different. This is creating, your creativity is like a different section. So if you just want to practice, take some time in your life to practice only, like that'd be good, because then when you decide to, like, you want to be a good songwriter, but you need these skills, it's okay to like just practice for a while, because sometimes you almost have to be fully submerged into like the playing, because there's so many techniques. Solos, you don't always want to be shredded, and sometimes it's like when you create a song, there's going to be certain songs, depending on the style, they're going to be fast and slow and more melodic, and sometimes you got to shred, and usually you just got to go for something that people will like, and like, you know what I mean? Work on your riffs, but even the leads, you're going to find you're going to be better at picking for your riffs, you're going to be more precise, and you're going to be able to apply more crazy things to your riffs, just make them cooler, like especially all the scales, those can directly apply to your riffs as well, so it's really good. No practicing, just metronome, be patient, you gotta go slow and clean, and then gradually record and bring up your BPM. And then, it does take a while, but as long as you're feeling better as you practice, it's a good way to, feel good. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the lesson. Take care. Peace.